Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm James with Epilog Laser. For today's training, we're going to be answering a question I received from one of our subscribers. They wanted to take a graphic and wrap it around a box and have it match up at the corners. So I got some Kleenex boxes here that are made out of wood that we're going to engrave some graphics on. And we're going to do exactly that and show you how you can tile these images in CorelDRAW and get that all lined up. And as a bonus tip, we'll show you how to do that in Illustrator as well. We'll show you how to set up that file, lay it out for the laser, run all of our settings, and of course, show an engraving too. Let's jump in and get started. So to set up this type of graphic, it's actually really easy to do once you know how to use the tiling features within your software. We're using CorelDRAW here, and then I'm going to show an Illustrator in a bit as well. So the first thing I'm going to do in Corel is create my page size, and that's going to be the size of one side of that Kleenex box, which is 5.375 inches by 5.98 inches. Now I've got my graphic here, and this is a seamless graphic, and by that I mean the left and the right sides match up. So if I copied that and pasted it, move that over, I can see I can line that right up and have no seam to my graphic. So that's really needed when you're trying to wrap it all the way around this way. Next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and create a box the size of all four sides of that Kleenex box. So it's going to be 4 times the width, so 21.5 inches. Then my height's going to be the height of the box, which is 5.98 inches. I'll also go ahead and center that on the page. I'll take my graphic, and I'm going to start to fill up that space. So I'll go ahead and line that up at the top left corner. And now I need to duplicate this. So I know that my width of my graphic is 12.447 inches. So I'll click off of that. I'll go to my duplicate feature and type that in for my X distance. My Y distance will be 0. Now I can grab that graphic, do a Control D, and that's going to duplicate that. Now I want that left and right side to match up, so I'll go ahead and grab everything there. And I'm going to change that to the same as the box width, so 21.5 inches. Now it's important that you turn on your little lock here to make sure that your measurements stay equal. So do that again, 21.5. And that way, that final corner of the box is going to line up as well. Now I need to fill up this bottom section as well. So I know my graphic is 4.3 inches tall. Go back to my duplicate feature, 0 for the X, and minus 4.3 for the Y. Grab that whole graphic and Control D. And it's fine that this goes off that page, because what we're going to do now is I'm just going to grab all of that graphic, group it. I'll just move that, make sure I got everything. Perfect. Now I can right click and power clip inside of my box. And that looks great. And if I want to adjust how that graphic is lined up right now, I can just go to Edit Power Clip and move the graphic around as I want. So I can move it up and down if I wanted to as well. Finish editing that. And then I'll turn off the border of that box. And we're ready to go. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and print this file, and we'll send it over to the laser dashboard. Now I've got my Epilog engraver selected with my printer, and I'm just going to come over to the layout tab. This is where we're going to set up that tiling I was talking about. So I'll come down to tiled pages and select that. Now it's going to set up multiple pages the size of that one side that we set up earlier. And it's right now set to 5 by 2. So we'll just go ahead and change that to 4 by 1. And now I've got that all laid out for those 4 different graphics I need for the 4 sides. So all I have to do is go ahead and click print. And that's going to send this over to the laser dashboard, where we'll set up all of our settings for that material to get that nice wood engraving. So once that pulls into the laser dashboard, I can see here that I've got my graphic up the top left corner, and I've got my 4 pages here, and each of those are going to be the different sides of the graphic that I'm going to be engraving. So I'll come back to page 1. Now I can import my material settings, and I'm going to choose a deep engraving on wood. We're running this on a Fusion Edge 2480 watt. So right now it's set to 500 DPI, 60% speed, 100% power. And of course, a great tip for whenever you're engraving something like wood, you don't have to use that higher resolution on a simple graphic like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this down to 400 DPI. And then I'll just slow it down a little bit to make up for that less resolution. And that's just going to give me that same engraving depth. So I'll run this actually at 55% speed, 100% power. And then I'll set this to bottom top engraving and print that. And these settings are going to apply to all 4 of those pages, and all 4 should come over to the laser so we can pick between them. So let's go ahead and hit print and go see how this turns out. So now the job's over at the laser, and I can see I've got all 4 sides of separate jobs here. So we'll start with the first one. And I'm just going to make sure my 0, point's perfect and just run that trace feature just to make sure that this lines up perfectly with the sides of the box. And that's looking really great. So we're ready to go. So I'll just go ahead and hit start and get it going engraving. So now that it's done engraving, I'll just go ahead and lift the lid, and I'll take that box and just flip it to the second side and make sure it's all the way to that top left corner. Close that lid up and start the second job, and then we'll continue with the third and fourth ones as well and let those run through. So now I'm just going to clean this off at the sink and just wipe it off with a damp chamois just to get that dust off. You can use a soft bristle toothbrush as well on this to really get into those cracks. Now, as a special bonus tip for you Illustrator users, we're going to show you how to set this up really easily in there as well. So one difference is my artboard size. Instead of setting that up to the size of one side of the Kleenex box, I'm going to do it to all 4. So 21.5 inches by 5.98 inches. Now to duplicate my graphic, I'll go ahead and set this up top left corner. And I'll double click on the selection tool. I'll set my horizontal distance to the size of the graphic, so 5.1373. And my vertical distance to 0, and hit copy. And that'll move that over. And now I can just do Control D twice until I've got that pretty close to the size of the page. Select everything. I'll go ahead and group that. Now I'm going to change the size of that to the size of the artboard, so 21.5 inches. And I've got this space down here I need to go ahead and fill up as well. So I'm going to go ahead, double click the selection tool again, set my horizontal distance to 0, my vertical distance to that height of the graphic, so 5.375 now. And go ahead and copy that. And now we've filled up the whole artboard, so that's good. Go ahead and position that. Now I'm going to grab a little box here. Go ahead and draw a box and make that the artboard size as well. So 21.5, 5.98 inches. and then I'll align that to the page. Now do my selection tool, and grab that whole graphic there, group it. Shift key and select that new box that I drew. And I'll also go to Object, Clipping Mask, Make. And that's going to put that right in the clipping mask. So now I'll go ahead and print that. Scaling, I'm going to change from Do Not Scale to Tile Full Pages. And I'm going to set my media size to the size of one of those sides of the Kleenex box. So 5.375 by 5.98. And now I can see there's 4 graphics here that are all cut into that size. So go ahead and hit print. And that'll send that over to the laser dashboard. So once that comes into the laser dashboard, I can see my graphic here, and I've got my 4 pages once again. So we're all ready to go, and I can just import my material settings, and we'll be ready to send that over the laser and let it run. So now we've got some really great custom engraved Kleenex boxes. These came out just beautifully, and these designs work so well on the wood. And you can see on the corners of these just how well these graphics lined up by using this tiling technique. Now, I hope you found these tips helpful today. If you did, be sure to leave a comment, like the video, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe so you find out when the latest videos are coming out from Epilog Laser. If you'd like to find out more about Epilog Laser, click the link in our description, go to our website and fill out that form, and you can set up a hands-on demonstration and see everything that you can create with a laser system. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.